Matthew Boling has certainly had a very interesting 2023 season. For his indoor campaign, he opened up quite slow, but then, like a rocket exploding off the earth, he came back with a fantastic and very clutch performance in the NCAA Finals, winning this race in 20.12 seconds and kind of shocking the entire NCAA. Throughout the entire indoor season, there was a lot of doubt about Matthew Boling's abilities to return to his previous fitness that he had for the previous few years. But with this one race, he kind of put everyone in their place, honestly. And even for his fans, he really did shock them. This was a very impressive race. Now, after this indoor season, he certainly had a lot of momentum going into the outdoor season. 20.12 is a top 10 all-time performance for the indoor 200. However, even though he did run very fast indoors, he really didn't run that fast for the opening few weeks of the outdoor season. In fact, for this entire outdoor season, he's been a little bit behind his previous years, battling with a few injuries, and it's also important to mention that he actually recently graduated with a graduate degree from the University of Georgia. So he certainly had a lot of studying going on, and all of this actually plays a big role in what we just saw in the preliminary rounds, because for this race, he ran a time of 20.17 seconds, not even coming close to his all-out effort, and this is also the fastest time that he has run in 2023 so far. Up to this point, his season's best was only 20.26, and he ran that all the way back on April 7th. And since that time, he hasn't even gotten close to his previous bests. On April 15th at Mount Sac Relays, he only ran a time of 20.27, and then after that at the LSU Invitational, he ran quite the slow time at 20.64. These times were certainly very slow. However, as the championship season finally started to emerge and the SEC championships arrived, it seemed as though it was finally time for Boling to turn on the afterburners. However, we did not see this. In fact, we did not see this at all. And for Boling's performances in the 200 in this year's Southeastern Conference Championships, he only ran a time of 20.36 in the qualifying rounds, and then in the finals, he ran even slower at 20.52, only finishing 5th in the SEC Championships. I'll be honest, it really did seem as though Boling was not finding his form and he was going to struggle throughout the rest of this season. However, this 20.17 really looked great, and again, it seems as though he's repeating what we saw in this year's Indoor Championships. In fact, if we go all the way back to a video that we dropped earlier this January, we actually predicted that if Boling changed his training strategies and peaked later in the year, that would actually give him a better chance at competing either at the World Championships or even competing well in the National Championships. And honestly, it really does seem as though this is actually happening. 20.17 is a very solid time. However, he will certainly have his hands full in this year's NCAA Finals, because not only is this 20.17 still way behind many athletes in this year's NCAA season, this time only placed him in 4th, behind Robert Gregory from Florida in 20.09, Tarsis Oregot from Alabama in 20.12, and also Ja'Cory Patterson is running very well for his opening round in 20.14 seconds. Now, none of these athletes ran all out, as this is still the qualifying round of the preliminary round. However, we can be sure that most of these athletes in the top 10 here will find their way to the NCAA Finals, and if they can run the race that we all know they're capable of, I really do think we could see multiple sub-20 second clockings. We could see it from Boling, we could see it from Tarsis Oregot, we could see it from Ja'Cory Patterson, and we could see it once again from Robert Gregory. Also expect to see it from Udodi Onwuzurike, who ran a time of 19.91 just a few weeks ago. The NCAA season is really starting to pick up some heat, and Matthew Boling is also finally starting to get some momentum, and with a 20.17, I am very interested to see what he will do in the finals this Friday, and I'm also interested to hear from all of you. What do you think Boling will do for the remainder of 2023? Do you think he's finally on the upswing? Do you think he's going to go sub-20 this year? And also, what do you think he'll do in the 400 and the 100? We have talked about his 400 potential so many times on this channel, and honestly, it's about time he jumps into an open 400. We all want to see it, Matthew. Let's make it happen. Thanks for watching, everyone, and as always, until next time.